All right, a few things in multifamily that nobody's telling you about, and what you can think about in terms of seeing around corners and spotting trends. So, a couple of things that I'm observing. There's a lot of conversation around events, around the balance of how many vendors are at one event. 70% of the audience being vendors, and that being perhaps a problem for some, maybe a signal of something else. And when we look at this, when we look back at multifamily, I think about how companies move slowly, and because technology can be programmed, it moves quicker. So it stands to say that we're going to get more and more point solutions, narrow point solutions coming at our industry than we've ever experienced already. It also stands to say that as AI is going to be building all this software, so as we evaluate all these point solutions and products that are coming in to solve business challenges, we need to take into consideration the idea that when this product was built, when was it funded, and what plan was in place when it funded? What technical debt exists? Is the AI in code base? Because AI is changing. There's multi-model, there's multimodals, all kinds of things that are happening at incredible speeds. And what we know about, and I learned this at MIT when I was studying for generative AI and digital transformation of a business, which was when I came out of that program, is very interesting that much of the impact that came from boring businesses doing interesting things came from their ability to get leadership on board to move the business forward differently, because technology can be programmed and it moves fast. That's why tech moves so fast. Companies move slowly because people are involved, and they've got fears, they have expectations, they have habits that have been ingrained in how that they see data, how they see the world, how they are used to working, how they think it should be done. They have habits around, oh, we tried something, it didn't work, so then everything new will feel like that. These things are what's going to keep multifamily behind. And at the Multifamily Innovation and AI Summit, I'm bringing in David White to talk about these, what we call dominant logics, to move people productively through change, through experience at the employee and the customer level as well. And so your options for that are either radical change, disruptive change, which I'm not recommending, or the status quo change, which is why you may be seeing that companies aren't prioritizing going to tech events, because they're not prioritizing certain cases, because point solutions are coming in and building great products, but they're not aligning those products to the business objectives the customer wants to serve. So a couple of points on the idea around, radical change is disruption. The other one is status quo. You got away with that during the internet era, which grew at maybe 10x. AI era, where all software will be built in the future, will be programmed and coded and structured through AI. Regardless if you think AI is important or not, all the software you will be using will be built with AI. And so it stands to say that we are most likely technology companies, and we haven't yet realized it. And so that's another signal of why maybe 30% of attendees at a certain event are only operators, is because they haven't prioritized technology in their business yet, right? They're still solving challenges the same way with the same dominant logics. And so it's a really fascinating thing, because we want everything to be vendors. Everybody is a vendor. And we're coming out with some really disruptive, game-changing innovations that are going to bring people and technology together in so many great ways. We're going to reveal it at the Multifamily Innovation and AI Summit, but I'm going to tell you that it's the most exciting time to be in multifamily. And as we think about all these things that customers are focused with, they've got tech fatigue. They believe they are choosing too many things. It's because, number one, they're not building their own things as well. and they're not building with these things, right? So if it's not adaptive to the organization, it can feel like overwhelming and it can be problematic. So we're talking about when you look at conferences, you look at panels, you look at the same structure. I've been in the AI community and circle now, and I don't see any multifamily people there, right? And these events look very different than the marketplace events that we have. It's almost as if you put a bunch of blue suits into a vanilla ballroom with chandeliers, pipe and drape, and a banner, and you call it a tech event. And the reality is we've got people in blue suits trying to do tech, but they're thinking about it the wrong way because they're fighting. They're fighting for customers, they're fighting for market share, and they're competing on the wrong problems, right? They're not spending enough time with their customers. I spend time with our community every Friday to understand what the priorities are, what needs to be built, how to bring something productively into the organization so it makes an impact to the employee, to the investor, right, to the resident, the customer, to the vendors, for their reasons, not ours. And so cutting through all the noise, you've got to be able to believe in your own observations of the actions that you took that led to failure, and you made it a new step and you made it better. You have to get your information from your own learnings, from your own conversations, because most of what you're seeing out here is sponsored content. It's content that is biased because we have a product to sell. We're learning inside the sales conversation. And so I'm really excited to really address the things that, the reason why technology vendors have to feel like they've got to be at every event is because something's not working. Why is that? Why do I not have to do that? I can still get customers and grow the business and make an impact. So something has to change. It's going to change. I'm excited about that change. You should be excited about that change. It's an opportunity to reimagine how you get results in your business personally and professionally. And we're going to be dealing with what people are, needing, getting data out of silos, helping owner and operators get the information that they need in a productive and efficient way that gives them more trust, more confidence, and more understanding about how work can happen, right? And so I invite you to the Multifamily Innovation and AI Summit. This isn't for everybody. This is for those that believe in an open API marketplace. They believe in open data where owners of real estate technologies should own their own data. They believe in open communication, collaboration. They believe in results. And they're personally invested in making themselves better and their employees better, so then they can show up for their customer better and then ultimately lead to better returns and differentiation for their owners and operators or management companies, whoever they serve, if that be their own portfolios or for others. This is not an attempt to look like everything else or to gather the same folks that go and talk about the same things to the same people, right, in a silo. Meanwhile, I'm going to leave you with this. I want you to know, ask yourself, where were you in November of 2022? You probably just came back from an industry event that was centered on technology. And yet a month later, the world completely changed, and all technology after that was designed and improved and embedded in ways that you never imagined, and that was ChatGPT. ChatGPT with generative AI allowed us to have a chatbot interface to be able to communicate with large language models directly, where instead of developers and coders programming, your voice programmed the outcomes. So that ChatGPT, regardless if you subscribe to it or not, because it was a frontier move, disruptive, major moment in time for technology, look what's happened in the last couple of years. Look what's happened at the speed. We're talking 100x speed in the last couple of years. And none of those conversations came through ChatGPT didn't ask our permission, right? OpenAI didn't ask for our permission. Microsoft, Google, Anthropic, Claude, Grok, all the things never asked our permission. And the people that are building the future, the frontier people, are not going to multifamily industry events, dressing up in blue suits, propping up booths. You don't see the people changing the world like Elon Musk. You don't see Jeff Bezos becoming marketing. They are not concerned about their brand. They're not concerned about attention. They're building something useful, something great. And because of that, customers are sharing the information about that product. Did you see an ad about ChatGPT? Did you see a salesperson knock on your door and sell you ChatGPT? Did you go through a demo? No, they did something that made life better. And because of that, all technology is building on these API platforms talking to these large language models, which means open API. With Nectarflow, we have that open API. We can connect to anything with an API. And so you may be in conversations now where your data is stuck in silos, or it's moving in silos through point solutions, but there's opportunities that you're leaving behind if we don't have access to our data. And if AI is moving at 100x speeds, we're going to be left behind about how we create value and efficiencies for our business. And our normal sources have not helped us. The normal habits that we have, donating money to campaigns and grants and things like that, regulation is continually seeking in. There's lawsuits happening. If we don't do something, regulations do, right? It is up to us to create great businesses that increase the value of the relationship for the resident customer, which then allows us to create great opportunities and jobs for multifamily owners and operators and leaders, which then creates great yields for investment firms and funds and LPs and all the capital stack invested in one of the greatest wealth creation opportunities of our lifetime, which is multifamily, creating it and protecting it. But also knowing that if you're in charge of a pro forma and you know that your job is to create future cash flows for a business, protect those cash flows, operate and lead and manage and make decisions on a daily basis, and you don't have a plan for AI or technology, then you're in malpractice. You know that these things are important. You can't unlearn those things, and you're choosing to stay where you are and not know that the future customer of the world and the future technologies and software and applications of which they'll all be built on don't have a platform, and that you need to understand that cash flows are going to derive from the efficiency of a business and the predictability of those cash flows over time. So level up our game and treat this professionally, like medical or doctors or whatever that may be, to know that we need to understand the reasons why we're in front of the patient, the customer right now. Create opportunities that make unique experiences for this individual experience. So I encourage you, if you're not already part of the Multifamily Innovation Council, you need to get involved. This isn't like anything else. I'm going to leave it at that. This is about what we do together. We build with us. We build together, and we bring great people and great technologies together. I'm asking you to think differently today. I'm asking you to think about the business and think about the patterns that we continually have and to continually face. We go to the same events. You see the same sponsors talking about the same things, struggling. Why do you think they're at all those conferences? Because it's not working. It's not working. And there's just not enough time to transfer the knowledge of what you need to know. It's happening at 100x speeds. And if you're thinking about centralization and efficiency and cost cutting, that's natural. That signals things to employees too. It can signal distractions. It can signal them leaving the industry. It can signal them leaving your company if you don't properly communicate and understand how to move people through change. So as you think about all these things, know that AI and technology can be an incredible accelerator. It's all built for us. If you're around the right people, aligned with the right things, you'll understand that it's built for us. I spend time in the Bay Area, and I can tell you those events look very different. You know, the large conferences are in trouble. And so we have to understand that our business, we're professionals. It's our job to understand these things. It's our jobs to place, invest in ourselves to get better. If you're in professional sports in the off season, you're working out, you're eating right, you're doing the things to put you in a position to demand not only the salary, but the impact you want to make on that team. So how bad do you want to win? How bad do you want to take care of the real estate so you can take care of that investor? I want you to think differently about it. Get involved. We are calling for leaders, not speakers. There's going to be a time, and it's going to be at the Innovation and AI Summit. You're going to see something totally different, totally unique that hasn't been done before. And it's a statement, and it's an action, and it's an investment on what happens next for multifamily and who are those leaders, because all the people got us here. It's going to be very different in how we move forward. So with that, I'm going to wrap up. I hope you enjoyed some of these thoughts. If you are anything aligned with some of the things I shared, drop me a note, drop me a comment, drop me a message, whatever that may be, but get involved. Don't just sit back and wait and watch everybody else. This is time for you to take personal action, learn from your own experiences, your own mistakes, and your own corrections of those mistakes. Develop the confidence knowing you've battled through those things. You've tested it. Bring together people, bring together technology, and be part of the future of multifamily. Thank you, guys.